We have got Tebogo Mphuti. He is with eNaTIS, and we're talking here. I mean, earlier on when I was speaking, we spoke about how to use technology in managing traffic movement across the region. Now, you have an initiative where you want Southern African countries to work together in order to be able to cut down on vehicle theft across the sub-region. First of all, from the time when you made the announcement in the first week of September, how many countries have come forward and say, Big Brother South Africa, we welcome your initiative?
Well, you see, Tasima is the technology partner of the Department of Transport.
Sure.
So this regional integration is not really a Tasima initiative per se. Tasima is just the technology partner that's going to be rolling it out. This initiative is the initiative of the ministers of departments of transport in the SADC region.
Right.
At their ministerial committee, they had met, and then obviously they talk about all other things around regional integration, and one of those issues was the sharing of the technology for vehicle registration and driver registration.
Okay.
So,
have you been appraised of progress in terms of who wants it and who doesn't want it?
Well, because it was decided there at the SADC Minister of Transport, I take it that all the regional partners do want it.
Okay.
But first in line to sign up to take it was Namibia, and second in line in Lesotho. As we speak, we're busy rolling out in Namibia. We've already started the rollout in Namibia of the eNaTIS system.
Okay.
And second in line will be Lesotho, of which the two countries have already signed up with the South African government to extend this technology to them.
Okay, so let's talk about what this entails. What exactly will you be offering these guys?
Okay. What it entails is that, as you may be aware, South Africa has developed this very good technology that was developed by Tasima, of course, but at the request of the Department of Transport. It's called the eNaTIS system. All that it does, it's a vehicle and licensing system. So it registers the vehicle population and the driver population, and of course it manages the revenue that's generated out of vehicle licensing. So South Africa developed this at quite a substantial cost, so it made the software available to the SADC countries. All that the SADC countries have to do is that on top, of course, the software you run on top of technologies, that they have to procure their technology, they have to network their country, because it's a live database, it's a live system where you write live to it. Okay. So the regional countries have to put in their networks, put in their hardware, and install that software and begin to run that software. And there are lots of benefits for it. Let me just explain some of the benefits of this.
Okay, before we go to the benefits, let's find out who is paying for this.
The countries concerned are paying for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The South African has paid for their part
to
develop the South African system.
Okay.
So they are making the software available for free to the SADC partners.
Oh, I see. They're availing it free.
Yeah, they're availing for free. So it means there's no license fees that will be paid to the South African government, which is the owner of the IP, to the South African government. But the regional partners must pay for their network and their hardware.
Okay, so let's talk about the benefits then.
Well, the benefits is that it will ease movements within the SADC region. We are all aware that there's always foreign registered cars on our vehicles. One thing that happens is that there's road infringements while they're in the country, and as you leave the borders, nobody prints out a printout and says, hang on, you've got these road infringements paid. So it will ease movement. The second ancillary benefits will be the prevention of crime, so that a car does not get stolen in South Africa and gets registered in Mozambique, Zimbabwe, or any of the neighboring countries, and vice versa. You don't steal a car in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, or Namibia and register it in South Africa. So for that reason, it will ease to say that when it pops out in the other SADC regions, it said, but hang on the South African eNaTIS system, this vehicle is marked as stolen, and therefore we can't register it here.
Let's talk practicalities here. We know that when you cross, say, let's say, for instance, the border in Zimbabwe, you ought to budget probably something in the region of 2 hours to 3 hours at the border because of all the checks that have to be done. So you are saying that with this system, we certainly should be seeing an increase in a reduction in the number of hours that people spend at the border just clearing vehicles and all that kind of thing.
No, border and customs controls practices.
Agreed. No, we're talking vehicle inspection here.
Vehicle inspection, yes, because then, in a sense, as you pull up, you will give the registration, they will check it up on eNaTIS. If there are no infringements, you let through. If it's not marked as stolen, you'd be let through. So we'll be sharing we will be sharing the technology, as it were. Yes, perhaps it will do but that benefits, but there are other things that Border and Customs Control do that got nothing to do with vehicles.
I
But
certainly
for purposes
know
of
about
vehicle,
those things,
it will ease the checking of the validity of the vehicle to say it's not marked as stolen, no infringements, and all of those.
Yeah. How difficult will it be, or how easy will it be for you to use this system to work with the other SADC countries? Because we know that some of them accept second vehicle imports from countries like Japan. And the identification of those vehicles is not always the easiest because there are issues around the credibility of some of the logbooks and also some of the engine numbers and also some of the odometers on those vehicles. They are not really credible.
You see, that is what we call the customization of the different countries on which the platform takes. You see, they are not taking it lock, stock, and barrel.
Right.
But it's a very good system. They're just going to customize it to their own needs. As it were, in the current South African system, any vehicle that's introduced on the South African roads is introduced by a manufacturer. As you know, in our region, we do have manufacturers.
Yes.
So the manufacturers introduce a vehicle, and that vehicle is then approved for licensing. Introduction and licensing are two different things. So a manufacturer will say, I have now manufactured a 5 Series. I want it to license to travel on South African roads. It will then be introduced and then licensed. So I'm assuming that a similar process would happen to say, when there's importation, they would have their processes that control importation.
Yeah.
Once that is done, then it's validated to be licensed to drive on that particular roads, because these are national roads and regional roads, and you have to have a license to ride on them.
Absolutely. Tebogo Mphuti, CEO of Tasima, thanks very much indeed for joining us today to discuss this initiative, which we certainly hope will remove some of the bottlenecks that we see at our borders and facilitate economic trade and development.